this is what's so funny. If a attractive woman came in here and sat right there and said, "Hey Ray, hey Joe, hey Doug, how you doing today?" And we say, "Hey, we're doing good." And then she says, I just want to talk to you guys about a guy I like, but he has to be 6 feet. He has to have a house. He has to have a nice car, and he has to love God, and he has to have no kids. Everybody would be in the chats. Everybody on praise that. Oh yeah, it's good. But as soon as a guy says, "I don't want a woman that's overweight," they crucify us.
We're back. Pastor Joseph Webb IV and nephew Ray. First time breaking in the new studio. Humble beginnings. Pastor Joe was talking about this. He's been riding with me for a long time. He saw me record at my house over in South Minneapolis, to the warehouse in St. Paul. Now we're here in St. Louis Park, dude. So we have a lot of different conversations in many different buildings.
Yeah. Well, let me say this. Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here. I don't take for granted you would invite us again. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you. I'm glad. I'm glad you brought your nephew. I feel like I'm going down the family tree here a little bit, man.
Oh yeah.
You know what? One thing I will say your whole family has in common is everyone is really strong at just communicating and has great social skills. Because when I met your sister, she right away, I feel like you guys all have that personality where it's very easy for you to get along with almost anyone.
Yeah,
which is interesting, which is funny because I feel like that trait's very rare.
Yeah.
But you all seem to have it.
Yeah, yeah.
I can see it in Ray. I feel like this dude can get along with anyone.
Oh yeah, you can take Ray in any room. You can take Ray in any room.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
You can take Ray in any room and not be embarrassed.
Right.
There's some people
depends.
There's some people you have to be like really reluctant to take them into a room. Certain
people. There's certain we all have that friend. Well, say if he's like, "Oh, can I come with?" Could say if you're going to a party, whatever, you're like, "Oh, I don't know if I want to bring this person with me to this outgoing."
Yeah, and that happens frequently.
Yeah, that's more people than not. I think
for sure.
Most people are gonna be those people that I probably can't take you here.
Yeah, right, exactly. So the fact that you are like at least the two family members have that personality trait, for like you can take them anywhere and they can get along with everyone, dude. Yeah. It's something really special that must run in your guys' blood.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, man. We're honored, man, and I see a lot of ambition in you, man. Hats off to you for just never giving up, keep striving. What you did, a lot of people gave up. You went from there, the transition. So I respect the hustle and I respect the ambition you have, man. And you're just resilient, and that's so valuable.
I got that word tattooed on my spine, actually.
In addition, in addition to what you overcame. In addition to what you overcame, you have showed me something that's so encouraging just with life. Like you never stop, you never quit working, and you showed me even with your speech and everything that you've overcome. That's why I'm honored to be your friend, man. That's why I'm honored to be your brother and friend. When you invite me to come here, it's usually a hard yes.
Yeah,
it's usually a hard yes. We got my nephew over here. And this is gonna be good.
This is gonna be fun. Let's get into it. Like when I have Joel over, we usually like talking about like the dating world today. You know, men and women dynamics, just relationships and whatnot. I'm gonna ask you, how old are you?
22.
22. Okay, so being a 22-year-old man, like, why do you think your uncle's single? Because I think we'll get into it right away.
Man, dude, most people like when you fight, he said right hook, jab, uppercut. Man, go ahead. I'm not mad.
No, because
thank you. Yeah. That makes it good.
I think I asked your sister the same question, to be fair.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure. So I'll have to go.
No, I'll let him answer.
Yeah.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Thank you. You hit it right on.
Yeah.
That was like a no-look pass, alley-oop, slam dunk. First play of the game.
How we do it.
Okay, well, I mean, I think my uncle is he's very specific with what he wants. And I think that's part of, anyone being single who's single. I think I'm personally a part of that group as well. I think I have a very, not distinct taste, but I like what I like, but not many people
So do you think he's a little picky? That's kind of sounds like 100%. Nice way to say picky.
A nice way to say you're picky, but not in a bad way. He's not picky with looks or with, attractiveness in any sense. He's looking at other things, character, morals, things that define who they are, not what they look like. And so obviously that's just a plus is,
Right.
he's going to have someone attractive. He's a good looking man. He can have
Yes.
someone also good looking, but
No, that's not true.
he looks deeper. And so I think it takes more time to find someone when you're looking, on the back end side of things,
Right.
checking off the list, but it's not, I mean, there's something that has to do with you. I don't know what it is, but
Okay.
I think that's the reality.
You know, him and I met.
No.
I'll just say a friend of mine who was a very attractive female came over and we did a podcast together, and they met at a Chipotle
Wow.
at the time.
Of course.
Yeah.
Tell the whole story too.
Yeah, okay. So this is funny. I remember the story pretty well because it's the first podcast we did. Your uncle's eating at a Chipotle, and she was there with some other dude. Right? Good thing.
Yeah.
She was there with another dude. And he goes, well, I could tell she likes black guys right away because of her fingernails. Look, she had like long fingernails.
Yeah,
That's what
she
he
did.
said. No,
Yeah, and so like,
no, I will say though, in certain ways, women do them hair, makeup, fingernails. As you said, you can tell what type of person they're
Yeah, what kind of
attracted
men
to.
they're around.
You knew it right away. You're
Yeah.
like, yup,
yeah,
those are the
and
fingernails.
then the body language, the attitude, and then what
Oh.
she did was she made it an inclusive conversation. And then, oh, come join us. I was like, oh man, I was like, this dude is probably like sick. I was actually a guest speaker one night. I was like, if this dude was like any other guy, I might have to fight in this Chipotle. And I got my emotion, but she was completely like, oh, what? Don't do that. Don't do that. Do that. So I was trying to like navigate it. Oh, it was just friendly, but that was funny. Awesome person, awesome people. But you got to be open to new relationships, new friendships.
And how did this come back to you?
Yep. So
Sheesh.
so she's my friend, and then she had actually come on the podcast previously, and then she hit me up. She's like, "Oh, I got this pastor that wants that wants to come on," and the rest is history.
And so
Yeah.
when he got there, I guess he was expecting like some old guy pastor, like,
Yeah,
and then he was like, dude, after it's over, like 10 times, he's like, so you're a pastor?
right.
Which is, I don't know if that's a bad thing. Where I think I was so down to earth and so
Right.
open that he was like, that's really good. And we just clicked ever since, man. It's been a relationship. I consider him a good friend and my brother, man. I know about his daughter and his life. I've been in his house, and he's been to Joe Webb County,
Yep.
and he's just a polished guy, man. You're a quality person, man. Like, I wouldn't rock with you if you wasn't a quality dude at all, and I wouldn't introduce you to people as a
In your
reflection of my
family, yeah.
friend if you weren't. So I admire you, man. What you've overcame is something a lot of people couldn't do.
Yeah. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that, man.
I don't
Means
think
a
I'm
lot.
up to speed.
No,
on-
it's all good.
So he overcame a speech impediment,
Okay.
and he has a podcast
But-
where you can hear it clearly, and he's getting a lot of views. So
I would've
the
never
fact
guessed
he-
that.
Yeah, right.
Well, so most
Huh.
people think I just have an accent or something, so I can't
I mean-
say my R's or anything.
I
Like
don't
I say
really-
car, a rabbit, like park the car, you know. But it's evolved to like when I'm at the bar, people are just like, "Oh man, you from Boston?" I'm like, "Yep, I'm from Boston." And then they get all excited and shit. You know?
Yeah.
Like I do. My superpower is I can make people believe that I was from anywhere in the world.
Texas.
Texas. I could make them believe
Come on,
that.
show me.
Well, I can't do a Texas accent
because you got Texas on you.
Yeah. My mom's from Texas. That's why I got this.
okay.
But when people ask me where I'm from, I could just say anything and they'll believe it.
Yeah.
They're not going to say no.
Yeah, they're not
Like
gonna say no.
Australia, Germany, I've gotten it all.
Oh,
Like-
could he get away with that?
I
He
don't-
looks like he's like from a Denver. I would say you're from Denver,
Denver?
Seattle.
Yeah,
area.
I
if
don't
you
know.
were to have guessed right away, where would you have said I'm from? You don't know my uncle. You don't know me. I just walked into your podcast.
Yeah,
room.
I could see a Denver or Seattle. Definitely based off what we talk about.
Seattle's actually like top. I've actually never been, but it's in
Really?
like my top 3. Yeah, places. To
we
visit.
gotta go. Ooh, you would love
Never
Seattle.
been.
My God.
Yeah, we'll go sometime. Well, going back to why Uncle Joe's single here. So
Yeah,
for
thanks.
someone, yeah, no worries. You didn't. I was
I
gonna
like
let you.
this.
I was gonna let you get away.
You want
Pressure
you want me to
off.
answer that?
No,
Oh,
well, yeah, you can answer why you think you're single too. But like going back to he said how people are like really specific. I actually feel like that's a problem in the dating world today is people being a little bit too picky. It's okay to have standards and preferences. Some of my really good friends, they have these expectations
Yeah.
to get these women that are just way out of their league. I'm sorry.
I have an answer.
I do, and I want to say like, you guys do shoot for the stars, like go for it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you got to be a little realistic. You got push and pull.
Yeah.
You know,
Push and pull. I like that. So this is just Joe philosophy.
Yeah.
The phone has made us these robotic creatures where we think since it's on the phone, it's reality. So you see Cali tins everywhere on your phone and you're swiping and then you get a little attention. Now that dopamine has told you, you can get a 10 and vice versa. Every girl on those dating thinks that, oh, it's just random time for the next one comes up. So now dating is not as valuable because at the end of the day, it's next, cancel culture.
Yeah.
It could be whatever reason. Even through conversation through the chat, people can block you and be like, I'm done, whatever. Not knowing that this might be the best dude that was going to provide for you, take care of you, be a father, all these things. But you said he was socially awkward through a text message. So now you deleted and blocked him. And now you have forfeited a relationship. And that's where we've gone. I blame the phones.
Yeah.
Because back in 20 years ago, when we were coming up about, people had to get a couple red flags for you to be like, I'm good on them. Now, say one bad look at one bad text response and a bad emoji, delete.
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes to forfeit the relationship.
Well, because they have so many more options now, too.
But they don't really.
Then.
They don't really. Because it's the same mentality with everybody that's dating with the phone. You can't really get a chance to gauge a person's personality through text messages because there's no cadence in text messages. If I tell him, hey, man, sit down right here, or if I say, hey, Ray, come on, right? I say, come on. That means different. I say, Ray, come on.
Yeah.
It's still Ray, come on, but which one is more? You see that?
Right.
You can't.
You can't pick up tone or emotion through text message.
You can't.
Have you ever been on any dating apps, Ray? So that's why I was on Tinder for like a while. This is back before me and my fiance. Before even like we met my fiance.
Clean it up.
Yep. Let me get that straight.
All that before I met her.
Before that.
What year was it?
And, let me throw out my phone real quick here.
Yeah.
No, but my game plan for exactly what you just said is I'm not going to text back and forth for a week, 2 weeks before we go on a date. It's like, okay, we match. Let's meet up tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, like right away.
See, I'm a jerk like that
plan.
too.
But see, people, that's too aggressive for them. A lot. Like people can't handle that now.
Quick.
They need a text for them. Like, dude, you know what else they can't handle? Getting like FaceTimed. Like FaceTime, like video chat. Instead of calling the girl or texting her, you're talking to her on video. You know what video chat is, bro. Come on.
I know that, but I'm trying to come on, stop. I know what that is. But I'm trying to make it make sense. Like so
right.
They
because they
forfeit the relationship for not doing FaceTime, or they
FaceTime is too overwhelming for them. Because doing the text message, you can wait to respond. You respond at your will. Even before you got to talking, I want to get into this. Like,
so I got
if you don't mind, like, tell them, ask them about the question you asked them, if you don't mind, about texting the person beforehand that we were talking about.
Because
because texting someone is a game.
Can I say something? Yeah, it is. It is. And we will talk. I just want to say this. I got a friend. I got a friend named Ben. Shout out to you, Ben.
I can't throw it. Oh, okay, fuck it.
No, he's a lifelong friend. He's my brother for life. We've been through some stuff, and I've been there for him. And he's been there for me. But Ben called me one time, and we went to go eat, and he showed me it's like this dating is weird because he's 40, and so he said dating is weird. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, so I FaceTime this chick, and she won't put her face on the FaceTime. I was like, what do you mean? Let me see it. This is no lie. We were sitting in Applebee's. And I'm like, I got to see this. He FaceTimes this chick and she answers the phone, puts the phone down and comes back and she has a mask on.
Damn. That's what I'm saying about the FaceTime.
Like a donkey mask.
Yeah.
And I said, this is so weird. This is so weird. But everything was good with it. He's like,
he's getting catfish.
Hold on 1 second.
He's getting catfish.
What are you doing?
He's getting
no.
catfish.
It was a real person. Like he date with her. Like
no, catfish as in she doesn't look like
Right.
Whatever he told.
He already hung out with her. Yes, she was the girl, but on FaceTime, she didn't want to do her, so she would put a mask on. Like
She didn't have like her
a
makeup done, maybe, or
so
something.
Yeah, so she put her, and that's how she FaceTime, like with the.
Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
That's what phones is doing to people nowadays. You know, I was listening to this clip of this girl talking actually about how she met her guy, and they started texting, and he FaceTimed her right away, and she's like, "Ooh, he's confident." So, guys, if you're out there right now, I guess FaceTiming the chick is a good way to show you're confident.
This world is getting so weird, man. This is getting nuts. In order to show your confidence,
we need to ask what this young man thinks of dating world today, because I'm 32, so I'm sure even when I was single, like I'm sure it's changed a lot, you know, in the past 10 years.
What was your
What's
question?
like your experience been, especially like specifically with dating and the phones and technology? Because even back when in your uncle's days, I laugh. Me and my friends have joked about this. How back in the day, you had to like. Either call the house and be like, "Oh, is Stephanie there or whatever?"
And her dad would answer the phone like, "Hello, who is this?"
Right? who's asking? Yeah. Like, people today, they don't have to go through that. Or even if you even go further back from generations, you'd meet someone and be like, "Hey, let's meet at the burger joint at 7 p.m." And you'd have to just go there and hopefully they'd show up. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Like,
or you would have to have your sisters call the girl, and then if the dad asks, "Oh, yes, it's this is another little girl." Yeah. Hey, Amanda, Pierre's on the phone for you. And then you have to wait because
that's how you played it.
Yeah.
Damn.
I got caught one time.
Ooh.
This girl's dad went downstairs in the basement and got on the phone. And he was like, "Hello? Who is this? This ain't the look. Hey, Amanda, get off the phone. I'm calling." Like, man, man, I was terrified.
That was back then when her parents could pick up the phone anywhere in the house and listen to what you're talking about. Yeah. Kids these days
now kids have so much secrets. They know they can text you a full conversation while they're looking up. And like they're just texters.
Yep. Talking trash.
Yeah, exactly.
About Doug to you, I'm just looking at Doug.
So I got a question for my nephew.
Yeah.
Have you ever been blocked?
I don't think so. I'm a very likable person, not gonna lie. So I don't often find myself in like.
So a woman texts you, "Hey," how do you respond?
I feel like I need just a little bit more.
Okay,
context.
you met a woman out at one of those concerts. What kind of music you listen to again?
EDM
band. Everything's good. The vibe. The next day, you get a conversation, a call, and she says, "Hey, it's me, Jessica."
Okay. Well, I feel like there's a lot of other factors that go into my response. A lot of it based on like this person, I respond to people very differently. I do not, use this.
I set the stage for you. I said y'all had a good night, y'all vibing, y'all danced.
Like, I'll give you context from a recent.
That's a lot of different variables.
Yep.
You know her name. You know who it is. Y'all danced together. There was a good vibe.
Was there grinding involved in the dancing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like this is a lot different than what
so you're going to insert that in your response?
Yes.
Okay. I think grinded real good last night. Thanks.
Yeah, I popped the boner when you were grinding on me last night.
I didn't mean
I'm washing my clothes right now because you messed me.
I meant my verbal response. Yes, but if that was all the cases, I was just at a rave show and it was Tiesto.
Nice.
That was funny. That was fun. I caught that.
This was a scenario that could be used, as example in your question, but went that well. They text me the next day, which is rare, or not that it's rare, but it's rare that they're the ones that text first. I feel like just
it is
by
for
default,
women.
you have to text first. It's expected, whatever. It's not that big of a task. But if she were to do that, I would go ahead and play it cool to begin with. I mean, I'm not going to make it seem as if I'm someone who's like, "Oh, hey, had a great night with you." Like, I will never do that.
Hold on.
I'm about to make this fun.
Is that a simp to do that?
No. Hold on. I got to make this fun.
It just shows kind of like what it's like for you, what the game's like for you. Oh, this guy probably doesn't,
but see, I like
with the girl at a rave often.
Because I forget, being engaged, I forget about what the texting game is like now.
Yeah, like
I wouldn't know.
I mean, I literally text like if it's not plans or something like that, and I'm not responding to like a question. Hey, what's up? Like when we send a movie, when we're going to eat, I don't do the back and forth. I'm not your trauma dump. Hey, how was your day? And did you eat anything? Did you sleep? Oh, I might ask some curious questions, but I'm not going to dialogue back if we're not hanging out or meeting up.
That's because of your generation, though. Because
Yeah.
now you got dialogue back and forth.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you not agree?
I do agree. But it's tough because I do not speak for everyone else in like this scenario. Like
Right.
I don't, and it sounds bad, but like I don't have it very hard.
Okay.
You would agree?
Yeah.
With
I
yourself.
think this guy right here.
Like I can.
You
put
do
in-
well with the ladies.
Yeah, like
this
I-
guy,
this is
okay.
look. Let me say this for my nephew because he can't say it for myself.
Okay.
This guy, he looks like an Abercrombie and Finch model.
Yeah.
Like he look, like if you no, I'm not being crazy. If
No.
you go in Abercrombie and Finch in the Mall of America, there's a guy that looks like Ray. That's like my nephew and he's built like a Roman soldier. On top of that, he's over 6 feet tall. Right. Only thing like this guy, he's polished. He's an articulate. He's got good hygiene. All these things. So women just come to him. It's easy for him. It's
Your height starts with the 6.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yep.
Right there.
He has
For
all
sure.
those things going for him, but then he's articulate enough to be like, if somebody messes with Ray, I think Ray's with it. But then he's got that gentleman type of like, I'll open the door. Women can sense the guy that they're around, and he has that it thing. Ray is my ideal nephew. Like, only thing I've watched Ray, I don't understand this thing, but he does this thing where I don't know why he laughs at a lot of like anybody with like special needs or something. Like he finds it so funny. Like
Damn, you're calling them out.
if somebody like has like a
podcast.
defect, he has these
This type of lie.
looks. Okay,
No, I'll let you finish. Let's see. I was very interested to see where this was going.
He has
See where
this
this goes.
smirk on his face. If like somebody is struggling, no, I wouldn't say special, but like if somebody is dealing with something, he does this smirk or this face, and he tries to get people to laugh at it. And I'm like, that's not fun.
Are you saying I'm a bad person?
No, I think you're an awesome person. I think that you have it going on, and I think that women know you have this. You kind of got a womanizer vibe. You kind of got this like player.
He wonder who he get that
He
from.
kinda-
The friend
where's that?
who our mutual friend said you got womanizer vibes too.
Andy said I had womanizer vibe.
Yeah.
I don't remember her saying that.
Well, she probably just told it to me.
Man, that's terrible. That's
Yeah.
terrible. That's terrible. That is terrible because I want to be a friend. I'm friendly, and with what I do, I have to build rapport with people, and so my agenda is ever. I'm an orderly guy, and I'm curious of how people get that with me. I'm friendly to everybody. I'm just friendly, and I stay in the parameters of.
Maybe
Nice
it's because
tune.
what Ray said of you being specific on what you want, and if someone doesn't meet the mold of what Joe wants, you try to force your image of her, of whoever it is, onto them. You try to tell them, "Hey, this you need to be like this. You need to speak like this. You need to do that."
It's the other way around. No, it's the other way around. It's you can do whatever you want to do. You can do whatever you want to do as a woman. I don't date potheads. I don't date women that use foul language. That looks bad. Like I don't
Right.
date women that dress as. You can do whatever you want to do. I'm telling you what I don't do. I'm not telling you don't have to do anything. These are my boundaries, my parameters, and I get demonized. Not by you,
I know.
but I get demonized for saying I don't want a wife that's a woman that's a pothead. Even around me, that stuff stinks. I don't want a woman to have these things, these characteristics around me, to let alone date. And so now people say it's picky as no, I have to have my personal. This is what's so funny. If a attractive woman came in here and sat right there and said, "Hey Ray, hey Joe, hey Doug, how you doing today?" And we say, "Hey, we're doing good." And then she says, I just want to talk to you guys about a guy I like it, but he has to be 6 feet. He has to have a house. He has to have a nice car, and he has to love God, and he has to have no kids. Everybody would be in the chats. Everybody on praise that. Oh, yeah, it's good. But as soon as a guy says, "I don't want a woman that's overweight," they crucify us. How can be so imbalanced? And then we use the word partners, teammate, equals in relation. This world has gone nuts. It's say anything, and it doesn't even have to be relevant. But if you feel like it is, we just go with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I'm that picky. I really don't. I just think I'm not getting any grace in these conversations or empathy, which is fine. But all I've done is say, look, these are the boundaries. These are the boundaries. This is reasoning why. If a person, let's say, is doing drugs, that means they have another problem. If a person is dressing a type of way, it draws attention of other men after a certain thing. I can't call you my wife. I can call you a girl. I can call you a lady.
Have you seen the way girls dress at EDM shows?
Yeah.
The shows that me and your nephew going to.
He showed me. You can actually pull it
you
up.
wouldn't like your wife or girlfriend dressing like that.
You're missing me, Doug.
No, I'm not missing you. No, I'm not missing
my
you.
wife, or the fact that you will want to do that. You don't qualify. You disqualify yourself. Okay, let me see. This is what I have to do now. I have to go to the extreme for people to get my.
No. I get your point.
I'm about to go,
and I won't say I'll answer this.
You,
like
I'm saying
I know, but like I do agree. Society they confuse like your personal preferences and they confuse preferences with just like their own objective rules. Does that make sense? Your preferences are, I know a woman that's overweight, and then they tell you, well, no, you have to be able to like anyone.
Right. Or else
they force their own shit on you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's not going to fly, because when you look at marriage and relationship, it has to have some kind of boundaries. I don't know if we can say unconditional love is a real thing in this day and age, because it's all transactional. It's all under these stipulations. If you say, hey, if there's any woman that likes you in your phone, if you have any woman and say, we're going to make this work, but you tell her on Thursday night, I might want to cheat on you. She's going to be like, no, I'm not going for that. And there's boundaries. Then is that love then? If somebody forfeits it due to your action, exactly is love then if it has conditions? That's my question. If say you love, oh, watch this.
Yeah.
You love your daughter.
Yeah.
She can throw up on you tonight, urine on you while you're changing the diaper. Nothing changes.
No.
Tomorrow you're going to do it again.
Exactly. She could shit on me and piss on me.
I didn't want to say. I use clean language, but you do. So if your lady was with another guy when you got home,
well, that's completely different, though. Also, and there needs to be like obviously like assertive standards that you hold yourself to, and boundaries of how you're gonna get treated and respected. You know, like if you're going to allow your partner run around and cheat, you must not look at yourself as a very high valued person at all.
Okay.
Because to me, there's okay. I'll say this, and I've told my wife this too. I was like, I always told when we get married, like divorce is not an option.
Yeah, I like that.
But there are some things like extreme fucking things I or her could do that would end up in a divorce. And
for instance,
if I went home and she was there with another man, that would be one of them. That's for me. That's pretty much the only one. We can get in the biggest fights. She can call me names. I can call her names. We can throw stuff at each other, break stuff, whatever. Like we'll get through it eventually. Like we'll sit down and work it out like later, you know.
Yeah.
But to me, the ultimate deal, if you walked in your house and another man was in your bed,
yeah.
I don't think I could get over that. And even if I did, I would never look at her the same. So my love for her would change.
Yeah.
So like the best option for there would just for us to split up.
Yeah.
So like you got to respect yourself and hold yourself to high standards. And tell yourself, what are you willing to put up with?
Yeah.
Now the problem is today is people's list of what they're willing to put up with. It's I'm trying to think of it. It's not too. Is it too large? So what I'm willing to put up with, is a large list. What I'm not willing to put up with is her like cheating on me, right? That's the only thing I'm not willing to put up with. Her cheating on me. Now, if you ask other people their list of what they're not willing to put up with, it's a fucking encyclopedia of like, well, I don't. You could go on forever about different people's preferences, and that's why I think so many people are quick to quit the relationship when they go on, because what the list of what they're not willing to put up with is just way too large.
Do you believe in alpha male and like partner and teammates and
sigma male?
What is that?
There's alpha male, beta male, and sigma male now.
What the heck is a sigma?
Sigma male is like a lone wolf male.
Like
they don't play
rogue one.
They don't play the alpha beta games. They just do their own thing.
I think it's all complete foolishness. I want to.
Yeah, we'll let way go here though.
Can you repeat what you said? Do I believe in alpha?
Do you believe in alpha male and all that stuff and high value man and all those things, all those titles you've used on the internet?
I'm not a big title person, like at all. I don't really see myself or many people at all like in a certain, categorization based on this name or that name. I just don't like to think of stuff that way. I think that if you think that way, I mean, you see everything else a whole different way too. So that's not a viewpoint I think is just for that. I think that changes your whole view on everything if you think that way.
Yeah.
And so I personally don't like
You
to
don't
get
endorse
involved
that
in that.
thinking.
Like I believe in people actually thinking, they're this title or that title, alpha male, whatever it is. Like I said, I don't really dive into it. The sigma male, like he was saying,
Yeah.
that's really recent now.
Yeah.
You almost want to be that because
What?
in a way that just you put yourself on a little bit of a pedestal. I don't
Yep.
need you. I don't need you. I'm just,
Yeah.
and like it's a mindset I think people have found like cool in a way. They more think of it just because they think,
But if
that's
you,
what people.
that's concerning if people are endorsing that, because if you don't need anybody and you can do your own thing,
Lawless.
who is you? That's lawlessness. That's complete lawlessness, and that could be harmful to have no accountability, no governing, no order. If you're your own counsel, your own
Mhm.
correction, you could just do anything crazy with no. That's dangerous.
It is.
And it's almost irrational. It's almost irrational. Like when you have a dialogue with people and you start hearing like just do what I want, I don't want to do. It shows you a lot about their character. It shows you a lot about their character where other things accentuate themselves that without being said, if they wouldn't have told you, they would have displayed it somehow. Meaning, oh, I just do what I want to do. That person's probably going to be not timely, bad communicators, or have low integrity somewhere in there because you don't have anybody to govern. Somebody said something that was very wise, said he didn't do business with people that don't believe in God, that don't be faithful to their wife, and he doesn't do business with a pretty woman because if somebody doesn't believe in something, all right, cool. But then he really got me when he said, if somebody will cheat on their wife, there's no way I would do business with them, because if
Right.
they're not going to be loyal to their wife, ain't no way they're going to do the right thing with me in business with them. It's like, oh, I get it.
And a lot of people cheat on their wives or husbands nowadays. I mean, look at the divorce rate is insanely high,
Yeah.
which to me, like it's scary, dude. Like I think it's weird that people say they're afraid to get married nowadays,
Yeah.
and they think like all these bad things are gonna happen. But it's like I think it's more scary to be alone forever, personally.
Yeah.
Like to me, that
'Cause that's how
sounds
depression
more
and all that
afraid.
weird stuff gets in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fake.
Especially in later stages of life. Like, how do you feel? Like, I mean, you're not that old. Like, you still got time, but like, do you feel like any sense of urgency?
Well,
Like,
I try not to put it in feelings, because feelings make error. But I think that,
yeah, but you're only human.
but you just hear me out. If I wanna be married, I'm looking at the big. It got to be the right one with what I'm doing and where my life is. So the likeliness of me not getting married is low. I'll get married. I'm gonna get married. I'm gonna find a wife. There's no way I wouldn't with what I'm doing. The average guy or the average person saying they want to be alone because eating a holiday by yourself enhances depression. I just talked to a buddy. He said, "Hey man, you seem like a good guy. I'm just making friendship because I almost killed myself last Thanksgiving because I sat in my parking lot and ate a sandwich by myself." He said I wanted to kill myself, and I was like, "Ooh, that's tough." He sat in his car and ate it on Thanksgiving by himself. And relationship is the currency of life now. I don't care how much money you have. If you don't got family that love you around you, it doesn't matter. It's the currency of life. If you don't have good, positive relationships, you can have all the money in the world. I got a buddy. He's headed to Dubai with his brother. And I'm like, I thought you and your brother ain't even talking like that. He's like, yeah, but he came to me and said, man, he just got to spend. And his brother's got oil somewhere in Alabama. And he's got all this buku money, and he reached out to his little brother, like, hey, come to Dubai. He didn't have no friends to go with him, but he's got all this money. He got all this money. He's got oil money is so long, your kids.
Yeah.
And I said, man, that means you can have all that money and you got to still be able to be like, hey, man, can you come with me? I ain't got no friend.
Yeah.
Man, it's the currency. Relationship is the currency.
It is.
Yeah. One thing I admire about him, he's got a buddy named Josh, my other nephew. They've been friends since, and it's really solid. When you have good friends that are with you up and down, high and low, that's so valuable. So valuable.
Yeah, I mentioned him to you earlier.
Yep.
We talked when we were talking about like the music and everything, and so he knows about him. I want to bring this back to his initial question, which was about 30 minutes ago, about the dating apps.
Yeah. 27.
Oh shoot! Okay, sorry.
27.
Who's counting? I have one downloaded right now. It's called Hinge. I never got into Tinder when that was like big. That was like, I think a couple years or so back, where it was just everyone my age, you would expect them to have it. And so I didn't have it then, but I'm on this thing called Hinge, and I don't personally use it thinking I'm going to like find someone to date on it. If I'm being honest, I go on it and I'm like, okay, might as well just increase my chances of finding something. But why not? You know, it's because when you're working full time now, I don't go out as much on weekends. And so I'm not meeting as many new people as I would like to. And so this is just another avenue for that. I can meet new people. Okay, try things out. If it goes well, sweet. But chances are very slim. And so I use them, but it's really just pure game on these apps. Like,
it is.
Not many people, and I'm just speaking from my own perspective, but I don't think many people are looking to actually find something serious on it. So what ends up happening is they're just using it as another social media source, which is, you know, they want entertainment from it. And so if you're, you know, as a male who's not, you know, checking off all the default boxes of just being over 6 foot and
the 666,
yeah, all these
6 foot, 6 figures, and 6 inches. That's what they want. They want 666.
And so I mean, I think everyone
they want the devil.
Not me. So you know, like that's really all that's happening right now on those apps and everything. I don't know if that's even any different from when you know you might have used it.
Dated 2 girls that I for 1 year that I matched with on Tinder actually. Wow. Too long. Yeah. And I've also, when I was bartending, I've met couples that said they met on online dating apps that are now married.
And that's not
so
like
it's possible.
Yeah.
For sure. It's possible. Like,
yeah, I don't frown upon it. I mean, anybody, the human nature is so awesome. Anytime we got ability to meet, the thing that I don't like about it is the mentality that it brings to society. The mentality where I can swipe right, I swipe left and get what I want dilutes searching the cold approach, and it makes people's skills less receptive to meeting somebody in a mall event, at a concert. People can't die. It's weird to have, you know, hey, I'm just saying, hey, how you doing? I just like your dress, you know.
And I completely agree with this. I don't think by any means that these apps are for the better of society. I think it hurts it as a whole.
Do you use pickup lines? Did you ever use pickup lines?
If I did, there were like some dumb, funny ones.
Yeah, I mean,
I break that. It's like a pickup line is almost like a joke to kind of make them laugh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I mean, that's something I think that you can use on an app. That's where you're going to use something like that. But in person, I think you guys just sell them on your personality. And if you don't, then oh well.
A coworker of mine, he was on a dating app. His pickup line, he would send like the girl a dog emoji and say like, "Oh, my dog ran away" or something like that. It was. I'm not explaining it right, but he would do like dumb shit like that. You know, as his like pickup lines to make the eyes.
So that's interesting. That's interesting. I just love to hear dating stories and how people meet, which is a lost art now.
Yeah,
Not
and
that it's
to tie back to what you were saying, like I think that if you know you have the freedom to do this on an app where it's just not really interested. Like I think that just puts you in a really bad headspace. That nothing is like that, where you're just gonna have these 2 choices right in front of you here, and you get to say yes or no. That's just not how it works.
Yeah,
and so I think it's silly that people, you know, bring this mentality and just into their actual life. And that I think leads to a lot of singleness too, is that, you know, they get too picky. They think they just have free will to say yes and no to these people. And it's like, they're also interviewing you.
Yeah.
You know?
So why don't you help the ladies out? You're my nephew. You're a good looking guy. You got muscles, you got status, you got all these things. If you had to pick your ideal woman, what's some things you got to see?
I don't like that question. I think.
Okay, there we go.
there
Okay,
you go.
what are some? Yeah, I don't know. We had a little lag there. What are some preferences you have?
I mean, I just have like general. I'll just name like 3 of my big ones. You have to have a sense of humor because I'm someone who I'm always joking. Like I'm either
and you gotta be able to take a joke.
Yeah, like these are things that just are non-negotiables because that's probably like 70% of my personality is just like joking and sarcasm and like just trying to get pushing buttons, trying to get people worked up, but in a funny way.
Yep.
That's a big one for me. That's probably like number 2. I would also say that they have to be very good with hygiene. That's something that's big to me. So I would also expect that on the flip side. And I think more often than not, women are. And so I'm just gonna say, I'll leave it at that.
They're better than men, I would say, overall.
So you don't have to worry about them as much as you would Uncle Joe. And so, but
what?
But hygienic, sarcasm, funny, and then I think they just have to have like a will. Like, what are you striving for? Like, what are you pursuing? Like, I don't want someone who doesn't really know what they're trying to do.
Do you want like boss bitch career girls? Is that attractive to you, or are you more into someone who like I want to be a mom, like a whole housewife type, or do you not have a preference?
You know somebody doing that?
Who
saying they want to be a mom?
I've met a few girls. I've met a few of my friends I've met and coworkers I've met. They said like their goal in life was just to be a mom.
He brought some girls on here that said that they wanted to pass gas and do it. It's like, what kind of girls you got me on here with, bro? He did that. I was biting my tongue because I was just like, one of them was really cute too. You probably would have liked the one.
You wouldn't bite your tongue that much. You're kind of going in them a little bit.
Well, to answer your question, then I think I don't have like distinct preference for those, but ideally, the person that I'm with in the long run does have that, urge to be a mom and to have that, part of her life be the best. I don't,
For sure. I have mixed feelings about that one because like I do want, like I love a woman. Part of the reason that I fell in love with my wife is that she has those mom qualities, but I also do think it's attractive when a woman has like is very career oriented and has that ambition to like strive and go out there and get it at the same time.
I think it's really possible for them to have both, and so that's why I don't think I need to like pick between those. I think that I could very much so have a woman who's driven to just do whatever she wants, whether she wants to start a hair salon, work for a corporate office, whatever the case may be. I find that just as attractive as I do, I want to be a mom, raise a kid, because I want to be a dad and raise a kid. And so I think that's something that either way, like that's a plus.
That has to be in common. Yeah.
And I think, that's something do you find it often where you don't have one without the other? Or because I don't think I've ran into that too much.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I found most, like for me personally, most of the women I have lives, like they've kind of had a little bit of both, but they've never been to the extreme of one. Like they've never been extreme, like, oh, I just want to be a mom. Yep. I'm not trying to work at all. Like you better go out there and fucking make the money, which is fine too. But I've never been with the extreme of the other, where it's like we were actually talking about this when those same girls came back on. We recorded an episode a different day. We were talking about how
you guys left me out.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, I forget.
Get some group thing going.
It's we were talking about how these boss chicks that are like very career oriented, they actually sacrifice the woman's most divine gift, which is to give birth to a child.
Right.
You
So you're out of the origins of God. Not when you're
good.
What's going to happen is somebody's going to take this and be like, I said, I don't want a woman to work. That's what. But I'm not saying I don't want a woman. When a woman leaves with that boss B and all that stuff, what happens is she embraces I would say mentality, but it's even further than mentality, almost a culture where there's walls now when a guy comes that he's not the guy that they want, that they want, because those if they say the ball, really concerning, because if you have a dialogue with most of those, I don't run into that or not, because I think it's foolishness. And I'm on. As soon as a woman starts to talk like that, I redirect and I start asking questions. Who are you the boss over? Like, you got employees? You got, okay, that's fine. But like, you put that, you want to bring that into your relationship? You want a man to subscribe to you? And they're like, no. So it's complete heresy. once you start questioning with honest questions, like, so you want to wear the pants in a relationship. But what happens is most women have had to, and that's the type of guys they attract that allow them to do that. So that's the norm now. So then they say a boss, but a boss doesn't have to say he's a boss. A king never has to say he's a king. And it just, the guy doesn't have to say he's in that. Like, you don't have to, if you have to say that stuff, you're probably not doing your job.
Right.
You're probably not doing your job. If I have to walk into church and say, I'm the pastor here.
Yeah.
I'm the one, I am. I'm not doing my job.
Right.
If you're really doing it, people are going to be under the tutelage knowing that you are the person you say you are, you're supposed to be. Once you voice that boss, once you do that, you're not.
Yeah. Same thing goes like, I'm the alpha male here.
That's so funny. I can talk about that. So let's set the stage. That's foolishness because, and then I'll let you guys dominate the conversation.
No, you're good. But let me ask you something real quick.
Yeah.
Both of you. Are you cool with, would you be okay with a woman making more money than you? Like in a girl you're dating. Would that bother you at all?
No, I don't think.
Okay. You don't want to bother you at all? No. What about you, Joe? Would that bother you at all?
I like to answer with this.
It says yes or no. Would that bother you if you were seeing?
She just got a regular mentality?
She's got a regular mentality, but she makes more money than you.
Oh, fine. I don't care.
Okay. You don't give a fuck. Okay.
I guess that would be a better question to ask as well.
The problem with that, when a woman makes money, they come with things that are not desirable. They come with they're combative. You can't turn the switch off and on. They come with a very masculine nature when they make a lot of money, and they sit in that realm more. And they'll also be I've heard women say, I'll be submissive to the right man. It's like, what if a guy said, hey, I'll start wearing regular men's clothes when I meet the right woman. You see it would sound so asinine. It would be like, what are you talking about? I'll be masculine. I'll be feminine when I meet the right man. No, you should be feminine because you're a lady, because you walk in the nature of a woman. Back to this alpha male.
Alpha male.
Then I'm done. I got questions for you.
Yep, we'll get into it.
For him and 4 for you.
Alpha male is trending on the internet right now.
So
it's big. Andrew Tate. He's the leader of the alpha males.
Let me say this. And here's the thing: if I'm wrong in anything I'm saying, please correct it, and I'll be humble enough to say I'm sorry for giving you bad information. If I'm wrong, has his information on here, and he's available guy, and say, hey, that guy, that Pastor Joe that came on here, or Joe, whatever you want to call me, that guy that gave you bad information, you need to correct him, and we need to sit down and talk to him because he has bad information. Alpha male is complete heresy. Here's why. Its origins come from the term alpha and omega, meaning God. That's where its origins come from. It's done, and it's taken the language from a study of bound wolves that are bound, not free. You see where I'm going? So now this is complete. They're bound wolves, and the best bound wolf leads the pack of bound wolves, not free wolves. If a guy does not have a relationship with God, there's no way he can be an alpha. There's no way, because its origins come from alpha and omega, meaning God. I'm acknowledging my source of life, God. So if he doesn't have a relationship with God, there's no way he can be alpha. Secondly, if he's not bound, if he's a free man, that's completely out of the parameters of what it was, the study was. So to take this thing and say, oh, alpha male, that's a guy saying, I'm bound with a relationship with God. No, this makes no sense. This is complete heresy. Right. This is foolishness. I'm not bound. I'm never saying I'm not bound. I'm a free man. I'm free. I'm at liberty. I can leave here right now. So when you put those principles on what the things was and the reality of it, you're saying that you're subscribing to something that's bound. And how can you be in charge if you're bound? See, it makes no sense, because alpha male is looked at as this thing that strong. No, it's not strong. It's not functioning under its own will. It's bound. So that's why I reject that conversation. And the people that are calling themselves that need to go look at the word's origin, the etymology of that word. It's not, a wolf that's no, it's something that's bound. And so when we bring this conversation, we telling guys they're alpha males, that's almost making them exactly what they're not by the fact that they subscribe to it. Because a king never has to say he's a king. And then if there's guys saying they're alpha males, that's another concerning factor. Why are you doing that? What if you take the most masculine men you ever met? I don't know. Let's see. I would never hear my father, Barack Obama, Michael Jordan, who's another masculine male that we know, say that.
I say my father, my half brother.
He's the most masculine male you know?
Yeah.
Do you think he would ever say, I'm an alpha male?
No.
He would never say that.
Right.
No masculine man would say that. So the fact that we're putting these conclusions on things and we're just going with it, shame on us. Shame on us as society, as men that hasn't stood up and redirected that. Because I got uncles and a father that loved me. They would redirect and to say, if they even heard any male in our family talking about that foolishness, they say, hey, come here, sit down. What are you saying that you are? First of all, you're a web. You don't need to say who you are. You're a web. That's it.
Right.
That's it.
What about the guys who teach people how to be alpha?
There's
a lot of people that
I can't.
They teach you how to be the thing.
There's two groups I can't take serious: them and the Hebrew Israelites. I can't. It's just a laughing stock for me because you gotta tell me who your granddad was and what you learned from him. I don't want to learn from him. I want to teach me something your granddad taught you.
Yeah,
guys don't. I don't ever hear. I've never heard Andrew Tate say my granddad taught me this or my father taught me this. I've never heard.
That's actually all he says. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah, his father.
I've never heard it, but I don't listen to him like that.
Yeah,
so if he does that, hats off to him. When you've had solid men around you, you're not gonna need somebody that things go online. That's a cry for help of a guy seeking relationship online with guys they never met. Stop doing that because it's making us a weak unit and not being because you don't know these guys. You don't know if they're walking out what they're preaching. You don't know, but you got to build relationship with men around you. And if other solid men aren't around you, that says something about you because solid men, when they're around, it's like iron sharpens iron. And so that's a problematic thing for those guys subscribing to another man to teach him how to be an alpha male or that's weird, man. That's weird stuff, man. That's weird.
And I also don't think that's really like, and not that this might sound like I believe in it, but that I don't think that's something that can be taught either. Like, you learn this just, experiencing things. I don't think you can sit down with someone and say, hey, this is what you need to do to become this type of man. Like, no, they have to experience this, and they have to overcome these things. And that's what builds the man in them. I hate the idea of just thinking, like you were saying, people teaching them.
I feel the same way when it comes to like women, like people who are like, oh, I'm going to teach you how to pick up chicks. Because I feel like everyone has their own unique way of how to attract a woman.
That wouldn't work because the guys normally when
what works for Ray isn't going to work for me or you. And vice versa for all of us around. What works for Joe, what works for me ain't going to work for you guys.
No. Yeah.
Like, so when someone gives you advice of how to pick up a woman, they're telling you what works for them. Like, so how...
but here's the problem with that. The guys that are teaching that, those guys are studs. Those guys are muscle bound, well groomed. They look like this guy. So like they're using their experience and they're usually very attractive guy that got a track record of getting a lot of girls based off what they look like. And so they're trying to tell you, I didn't know them women like muscles. They like your physique. They like these things. That's what drew you nigh. You're talking to some guy that sits on his computer that's 50 pounds overweight and he's trying to pay money so he can do what he's doing based off the tactic. He said, shake hands like this and look at him like this and touch. Like they're still like not
walk with the demeanor.
Yeah, that stuff is foolishness because it's not going to work for you. But guys will subscribe and pay money. I respect the hustle, man.
Right.
If you're gonna get somebody to subscribe and pay you for that knowledge, man, couldn't be me.
Yeah,
I had a dad. I had all that.
And I see, these are factors I think we overlook when we're talking about other dudes here. Like we have had, figures that, we can base our whole lives off of, but like a lot of men don't have like these, authentic male figures in their life that are just shaping them by being themselves, not trying to sit them.
Yeah, that's probably why a lot of people do go to the internet. Like the world needs more stepdads. I will say that there's a lot of guys that are kids growing up without a dad, and that strong like father figure what Way was talking about. So they seek father figure like through the internet or somewhere else.
But he's right there. And so I want to encourage guys to go meet that old guy that has a family that's been working the same job 20 years, got his stuff paid. He's got 4 more months before he retire. Go learn from him. Not the guy online that's your age that's got $1 million a yacht and everything. He ain't. He's young. He ain't really had no failure. That guy that's been on his job 30 years, about to retire, got grandkids. He might not have $1 million, but he's got a respect from his grandkids, his wife, his brothers and sisters, his family lineage is going on. That was a noble man, but he is frowned upon. He worked hard all of his life. He might have a tire company or a clean carpet or do car. And that guy has stories of how has just sustained him. Every Christmas might not be a Maserati outside, but he's with his family and his grandkids. And that's more valuable, but we don't highlight that. We highlight turning up on a yacht as a 30-year-old. And they want to learn, no, I don't want to talk to a 30-year-old. No, I want to talk to that 85-year-old man that's got his medication because he worked at Ford all of his life. But his house, his 3-bedroom house is paid for. And he's got his wife still with her health conditions. And he stayed there as a man. His grandkids come and mow his lawn. That's valuable. Yeah. Like this guy on the yacht and turning up in the club, but I don't want to learn from you. You don't even, you're reckless, man. That's reckless. Like you shouldn't be teaching anybody. You out partying, more reckless with your sex life. No, you can't. They shouldn't even be teaching. But we don't praise that guy that's working hard, that has had struggle, that's never saw $1 million in his life, but he's got grandkids that call him granddad. That he picks up from school and he's taking care of his family. He's going to church on Sunday. He's a deacon. Like imagine Deacon Lewis. That's who you should learn from. Guys like that, not the guy, he's on a yacht just because he's got some money. His character sucks. He doesn't know how to conduct himself in a room where he's not advising. That's the problem with society. We have praised these guys just for having some money and their character stuff. There's no integrity. They can't have a dialogue without lusting after women or anger. Like, come on, man, we got to do better. We have not summoned reality to the internet. Looked into people like, all right, these guys are doing this podcast. These guys are doing this stuff. What's their character like? Are they good businessmen? What's their relationship with their parents? How do they treat their parents? That we don't talk about that. It's like, who talks about, man, do you honor your parents? Are you nice to your when's the last time you called and checked on your grandparents? Somebody should post that. When's the last time you called and checked on your grandparents? Or a mentor or our old teacher said, thank you, Mr. Growth, for setting me straight and telling me to be on time and stop sleeping in class. Thank you. Coach Bender, thank you. That doesn't happen. It's like, have to be there. And it just sickens me how we overlook our old people. Mm-hmm. It sickens me. But that's enough from Joe Webb. So I got a question for you.
Yeah, let's do it. So we're hour in. So let's go. We'll go through these questions. I know you said you got questions for me and him. We'll go through the questions. Then we could probably call it because that would take us probably an hour 10, hour 15. Okay, let's see. Yeah, sound good?
Yep.
Cool? Okay.
Come on, Pastor.
Okay, you give me time. Were you weren't even at church today?
I was driving.
Okay.
So I got a question.
Okay.
Let's just go with what I'm saying. There's going to be variables. Do you think the internet and the phones have made us weaker human beings overall? Not just dating, overall.
I'll let Ray go first and then I'll go.
Well, I feel like this is all just based on the way you're looking at it. But since you're saying overall, I think it has made everything more convenient. So by default, I don't think that would make you stronger. It would make you weaker.
There you go.
But that's not. That's not for me to say technology has hurt us as a society, because that'd be silly. It's only brought us up. I mean, I'm talking about just in terms of human development and all these things. I'm not just referring to relationships and all these other things we've been talking about. But I think, if you're just basing it on the basic idea of convenience being priority for humans, it has for sure made us weaker because it has made things extremely convenient for us. School, work, there's just something that makes something easier for you by default. I also think that it's important that we recognize how much it has, increased our human development 100% plus,
You agree?
Right. Yeah, I agree with everything he said, and I'll add to it, like, as a whole, you're generalizing everything. Like, there's a lot of people, that phones and technology. Oops, I'll fix that for you here real quick. I can pause it here real quick. I'll fix it for you right after I get done answering. So, as a whole, with the whole generalization of it, technology has definitely made people a lot lazier and dumber too. Mm-hmm. But if you can use things properly, and it will make you a smarter person.
Yes,
here, let me
exactly.
Here, let me fix that for you real quick, Joe. No, you're good. I can ask about it. Yep.
Oh, is it running still?
Yeah. I'd be like, fuck, this is gonna be a good podcast.
Oh shit.
Do you guys agree with this culture where we have to?
Hold on, I want to go back to your question though,
Okay.
real quick. Now that I fix that, so like, I agree with everything Ray said. Going back, like generalizing, it's definitely made a lot of people dumber and lazier. Yes, but usually, like I use, like for me, for example, this podcast, all these microphones. If it wasn't for the internet technology, I would have learned how to do all this shit.
Exactly.
It's really amazing that we have pretty much all the information we've learned as a human race in our pockets, but people don't utilize it for that. They either play games or they watch porn with it. Those are the two things people really utilize it for. Like, so if you can use a technology to actually just learn something from it, and don't get me wrong, like I'm guilty like everyone else is. I'll scroll on fucking social media, look at dumb memes and dumb shit. Like I've wasted plenty of time on there just like everyone else has. So overall, yeah, it's made us dumber, but I think people can use, if they used it in a better way, had a little moderation to it. Fuck, dude, this guy, like, you can teach yourself anything nowadays off the internet. For a good example, actually, me growing up, and probably you too, like, the way to make it in life, like, go to school, go to college, get the degree, get the job. That was the set path. That's how you did it. Technology, man, it's not like that anymore. People aren't going to school. It's been proven like it's not really going to get you shit. I'm not saying, I'll never say it's a bad option, but technology has brought a lot more different paths that people can take to learn these things and teach themselves the skills so they can go and get a successful career somewhere else.
Yeah, you use that word success. What does success even look like? How do we gauge? How do we determine who's successful, who's not? Is it just money? But how would you determine somebody's success?
Well, and I think everybody sees success in a totally different window frame here. Like you just had mentioned, some people see it solely as I made this amount of money, I have X amount of women, I'm successful.
I think it's the money variable. I don't think if a guy has $1 million, he says he's successful, nobody has a rebuttal.
Well, I think you're successful in that category. You're successful financially. What's your romantic life look like? What's your physical health look like? How good is your reading and writing skills? I think you can be successful in different categories.
So overall,
when
somebody says, so when I say there's a guy coming, he's very successful, by default, your brain does what? Sees what?
He achieved his goals. Whether that's I woke up and I went to the gym 3 times last week.
That's successful.
That's successful. I set this goal out. I achieved it.
He's where he wants to be.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's dangerous. Now that's dangerous. Now, when we get into where he wants to be, now we measure ourselves only on our lens. And that's how people can say, I'm eating Doritos. I ate the whole bag of Doritos. I'm in my,
Well, you were just speaking as in like just a general, what do I see or hear when I hear the word success? And I think that's just what I hear is, oh, he's probably in a position that he wants to be in. You know, he's happy with where he is, content, but not, lazy or, I'm just saying, this is what I see. You also can, say what you just said about success being whatever you want it to be. I was able to not do anything productive today. Whew, life is good.
Yeah.
Like that. Some people just have these really bad.
Like, fucking man, I killed it today. Or like people play who are really into gaming. Yeah. Like, oh, I finally got the sword that I wanted. I've been grinding 3 months for that.
Good. Even though I played 15 hours a day, I got what I wanted. Sweet. Like, it's bad. It gets really bad for some people. And that's why you're saying it is scary because some people think like this. And
I love talking to y'all.
Takes time.
Yeah, this is so awesome, man.
Right.
Yeah. So if somebody would say could look in the future, what does success for Doug look like? I think you're successful now.
Yeah.
Because
to add on to the success would be you gotta go push further in my day job career. Hopefully have one more kid and honestly just raise them to be the best humans possible. Like that's really maybe have this podcast go a little bit more, have the message go out like more too. Yeah, just further my career, my knowledge, and then just raising my kids to be the best they could be. And hopefully I have one more in there. Only kids are weird. I'm an only kid. So
Okay, yeah.
yeah. But if I get one, then
You're solid, though.
that's on
You're
God.
solid.
You know,
Yeah,
if God only gives me one, He
Yeah.
only gives me one.
Mhm.
He only
You got
gives
a
me
healthy
one.
one,
That's
too.
it. Yeah.
You got one.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what would you define
I
as
asked
success?
you the question, man.
There.
Well, were you asking me the same question?
Yeah.
I mean, my ideal, I can generalize this very basic, but happy wife, right?
Yep.
Kids, at a job that I want to be at. You know, I'm doing things in my free time that I want to do. I feel like my time is my own. I
Yeah.
don't see life as, you know, a
Okay.
timer waiting for me to just sit by, watch it tick, you know.
Yeah.
I want my time to feel like my own. That's something I really try and emphasize now. I try not to be in a rush or, you know, in a hurry at all.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of philosophers. One of them is Alan Watts. One of the main things he says is when there's no rush and no goal is the only time you can actually experience life. And so I'd make
like
that an
that.
effort of mine to just constantly be
Yeah.
in that mindset where I'm not like, I got to go do this. I got to,
Right.
you know, like this has to get done. And I don't think that's to say you don't have goals and all these things.
Right.
Like you can be very, excuse me.
No, you got
You can be, you know, very goal oriented without
right.
being in a rush or in a hurry. Like just having a destination is really good.
Yeah.
You know, not worrying about the time it takes to get there, I think is what makes the difference.
Mhm.
And man, I wish I had your mindset at 22. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Man, this is just awesome hearing you. I was like, man, this is my
Yeah.
to seek counsel and to try to an understanding from another perspective for a young man is going to take you such farther. 22, I thought I knew it all. I thought I could, because I could hoop,
Same.
I can jump out the gym, I can do whatever I want on the court. That didn't carry over to life like I thought it would. Looking when I hear you say, what's the guy's name? You said
Alan Watts.
Alan Watts.
Yeah.
Looking at
I wasn't
Alan.
listening to philosophers at 22. I was fucking
Me neither.
popping Molly, going to EDM shows, dude, partying, just fucking off. I was working. I was held a job,
Yeah.
but like I was a weekend warrior. Like back then when I was his age, my goal, like I'd work Monday through Friday, and then the goal was to go chase some skirts on the weekend and try to get some pussy. And if I did, if I could blow my entire paycheck that I worked for that weekend. But if I was successful at it, I was fucking ready to go again.
If you had fun,
mission
didn't matter.
accomplished, you know.
So you-
But looking back at it, I'm like, man, what a waste of fucking time, like, and money.
I don't.
There
think
were
it's
some good
though.
times in there, but like,
lifetimes. of
it just that phase for me lasted too long. I'll say that
That's
that
a big-
phase
yep.
just lasted too long. Like,
I think that's a better way to put it because
Right.
I don't think it's good to look back and be like, ah, dang it. I shouldn't have been doing, you know,
Yeah.
because I think the way you put it is exactly what would sound better. You know, just might have been a little bit too much. Like, I think between the ages of 18 and like 21 should be like, not by default, but I think you should be having fun and, you
Yeah.
know, enjoying your
Right.
time while you still have.
whatever that
Little
may be,
responsibilities.
yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be partying. For me, it was
Exactly.
partying because I was very shy growing up. You know,
Mhm.
having the speech things for like. So like doing drugs and getting a little lit, like helped me come out of my shell.
Yep.
So I got really addicted to that. I got addicted to like, okay, I finally am able to go out and not be afraid to talk to women and hang out with people. So like, but I couldn't do it without like some sort of substance in me. So that like that sprung that whole addiction and took me down that path.
Mhm.
So I was eventually able to break out of eventually, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
A big substitute. Sorry to cut you
Yo,
off,
you got-
but a big substitute for like the partying now is like traveling. A lot of people are like, okay, this is how I want to spend my, you know, 18 to 22 phase or whatever. Like, is just going places I've never been with, and I think that's, you know, a good thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think wish I would have probably done a little bit more, like Seattle, like you're saying. I don't know how I haven't been there, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing, man?
I don't know. But been to Vegas, so
There you go. Yeah.
something.
I've been everywhere.
So I've never been to Vegas even. I'm a big fucking, I'm a homebody though.
Yeah.
Like,
I've been to every state except for Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I haven't been to. I've been everywhere and Hawaii. I think I got buddies in Indiana. I'm like, come take me for a hamburger. You're here, and it just sets out the relationship. Just going.
The
making
currency of
friends.
life.
It is, man. I wouldn't do this, but I can go to out east right now. My buddies, I can go out east right now and go to the airport and just tell people I'm in your city, and they're coming. Oh, you will be here. Were you hungry? And I've actually tested that theory. Even down south, I can go just get on a plane, go somewhere, and tell somebody because it's relational. And these things happen because it's an openness. You're gonna have flaws. I'm gonna have flaws. And this is the wonderful thing about Jesus Christ. He's on a journey with us to advise us in our time of like that's what friendships are supposed to do. But you do one thing and say, I'm done.
So I got one more question for you now, actually, before I call
okay.
it. Could you be with a woman that doesn't believe in God? And say you love everything else about her. Personality is awesome. She checks all the other boxes.
She doesn't believe
but
in
she just
God.
doesn't believe in God.
That's a hard absolutely. Here's why.
Yeah.
Here's why. If a woman is around me, and this has happened. This has
Yep.
happened. Actually, the woman that I have a little interest in now is wavering with her faith. And I like this journey. She doesn't know who I am at all. She just thinks she's starting to piece it together. Like, you read a lot, you know all these, but she doesn't know. She doesn't have a clue. And I like that, but she's not, I wouldn't even say she's fire and brimstone. If I am strong enough in my faith, if I'm strong enough in my faith, I don't worry about if she don't believe in God. That's neither here nor there. Does she love Joe Webb? Is she wifeable? That's my whole thing.
Okay.
Because it's gonna happen so organically. I give my mom and dad a hard time because I love it. I think if my dad came home and said, you know what, I'm be Muslim or atheist now, I think Andy Webb might be like, okay, we're gonna be Muslim. No, that's a stretch. Yeah. But I wouldn't reject relationship based off her because there's something
based off religion.
Religion just means order.
Yeah.
Everybody loves order. No, everybody don't want the repercussions for failing the 10 Commandments because everybody brushes their teeth every day. Everybody has order to life. When people say they're not religious, it's an oxymoron because all that word means is order. That's all it means is order. And we do something in order. You put your shoes on, you wash your face. Mm-hmm. Everybody loves order. We just don't like the judgment. So we hear that a lot. Oh, I'm not religious. I'm not. Everybody is. Its origins come from the word order. And everybody does something in order. Put the key in your car. I got a question for you guys. Yep. If you're in your car and you see 3 doors, wood door, a golden door, and a silver door, which one do you go through first?
Probably the gold or the silver one, personally, I'll be honest.
Right. I need to hear you say it in the mic.
Silver. I was going to the silver.
One? I'll go gold. I said gold or silver.
Guess
I probably
what
do
I would
gold.
go through first.
You'd probably go for the wooded one.
No.
Oh, really?
No. Did you guys hear what I asked you? Yes. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
I will go through the car door first.
Okay.
Mic drop.
We were already in the car.
I would have to get out the car. But the car door. I go through them first before I go through the wood door or the other doors.
Well, I mean, I don't know what type of that was very silly.
All right. Say top.
What's the point of that though? It's just a funny thing. Okay.
So say top.
Top.
Say top.
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 What do you do at a green light?
Go.
Ooh, you're good.
But you're.
Oh, you're trying to get me to say stop?
Yeah.
He's like, what was the point? But that riddle would always work just by the lack of context.
No, because I got it right. I said I would get out the car door.
Not that one. The car one.
I said I would get out the car door first.
It's just a random question that no one would.
I said you're in a car.
Yeah, but you didn't phrase it as you just asked us as this random.
You said
question.
That,
like
this, you're in a car. There's 3 doors. Yeah.
No.
I was expecting more like the gold door has some symbolic meaning that you walk behind it, and like the wooden door means like you have these humble beginnings.
I'm just thinking, I'm just in my car. What door would I choose?
Yeah.
That's how come on. All right.
Let's watch this. Okay. +5 is 12. What is 5 + 8?
If 8 + 5 is 12, what is 5
+ 8?
+ 8? 12?
Nope, it's 13. Did you get that?
Yeah. I got it. Yeah.
You see now, what do you got to say about that one?
Well, that's different. This is you cannot compare the first riddle
good.
that you
That's
just
good
said.
stand-up.
That was really good.
You want one?
Yeah, give him one.
Come on.
All right. You filled out a form. You went to Fort Snelling. You drive a Ford. You eat your soup with?
Spoon.
Oh,
there you go.
Yeah. Even I saw what you were going to try to do.
I was confused by where that was going.
Repeat after me.
Okay.
Repeat after me. Okay. Repeat after me. Okay.
Okay.
Red.